love sharing home design ideas and inspiration with you every week. And a great way to do that is by sharing the unexpected. We step into some unique properties found right here in our own backyard on today's SoFlo Home Project. Welcome to SoFlo Home Project. I'm Alena Capra. South Florida is known for its modern beachy lifestyle, which is reflected in many of our homes. But what if I told you amongst the sun-soaked beaches and palms, there are houses that transport you to another place and time? Today, we'll step inside some extraordinary homes to experience the elegance of European neoclassical design, the exotic beauty of Balinese living, the unexpected charm of a South Florida Western, and so much more. So let's kick things off right here where we're at in this beautiful home that was inspired by French and Italian architecture. In a house like this, the bones of it are reminiscent of those classical architectural styles. So as you notice, the coloring of all of the stonework and the painted details on the wall kind of blends in a nice, warmer, kind of cream-colored tone. This type of look will set a beautiful backdrop for any furnishings that you want to add in the space. In the fireplace behind me, again, this sort of herringbone look in a brick is another detail that you would expect to see in some of that design. And right here, we're in South Florida, so it's transporting us to another place. And a lot of these architectural styles with the European influence have been found in many homes we've toured here on SoFlo Home Project. Check out this stunning home. South Florida may be known for a lot of modern design, but today we're going to switch things up a bit and tour a home full of beautiful custom neoclassical design details. Elvira, welcome to SoFlo Home Project.
Hi, Elena. Thank you for having me.
So we are in a gorgeous home. When you look around the home, and we are going to tour through some of the key areas today, you really get a feel for the entire design right through all of the elements you're surrounded by here. I'm like amazed by all the different beautiful details we have to look at. So let's start with the main thing you see at the top of the staircase, which is this gorgeous stained glass dome. How did this come about in the design?
That was actually the first thing that we did in the house. They brought me in to create a dome. And of course, the very first thing is structural. You have to make sure that the ceiling can support the weight of an element like this. And after we did that, then we started with the design. You get piece by piece, tiny little pieces, and you put them together. So it's very time consuming. After that, the rest of the stairs looked very simple.
So you had to match the energy.
Yes, we did. And then we changed the handrail and did this beautiful boiserie throughout. And we purchased the Four Seasons 18th century paintings, and we incorporated them to the wall very carefully so that they're still intact. I think this took about 4 or 5 months to do.
Wow.
And together.
I'm glad that you're sharing that with us, because I think in terms of design, everything being hand applied, specialty finishes, all of that artisan type of work and design really takes time.
Certainly. Every piece includes multiple providers. So every panel that you see, some have antique elements, and that takes time.
So this is truly a beautifully curated space.
Yes.
And we are going to continue, because I want to check out what's at the bottom of the grand staircase. There is one gorgeous kitchen we are going to walk through, so let's go. Elvira, what an amazing kitchen.
Isn't this wonderful?
Gorgeous. I absolutely love this space.
Thank you.
I can't help but notice this beautiful marble and mixture of onyx and all these beautiful natural stones. Yes. This is like one great, amazing runner through the space.
It's a runner, and it was actually made here. We had the pieces cut and assembled here.
All hand done on site?
All hand done on site, yes.
Wow. So this leads us to one incredible range. I mean, not only, of course, the color,
but all of the stone carving, the backsplash, a lot of elements here.
Of course, if you have a stove like that, you want to create a showcase for it.
Yes.
And that's where the marble hood came from.
And now speaking of other things that work beautifully, I'm looking like right above here, the ceilings, and we have amazing medallions and moldings.
Those are a pair of antique crests from Spain, wood, hand carved. And they were exactly as you see them up there.
Now, right outside, there is a bar just to the left of the kitchen here.
Of course, it's an open floor plan in this area, so we wanted to have a continuous design.
Yes.
But by the same token, we wanted the bar to be wow.
Aren't those design details just beautiful? To see the entire episode, you could scan the QR code and check out some of our past SoFlo Home Project episodes each and every week. Coming up, we get charmed by farmhouse design with a Western twist on SoFlo Home Project.
Did you know that the money you can save from your FPL bill and the money you would save from your homeowner's insurance by protecting your whole entire home literally pays for your windows? Hi, I'm Mike Rednauer, Vice President of Sales for USA Windows and Doors. Okay, so let's think about this for a minute. If your FPL bill is $300 a month, by having energy efficient glass in your home, we can save you half of that. So now you're saving $150 a month. Then let's say your homeowner's insurance on average is $6,000 a year. According to floridadisaster.org, a state website, you can go and find out what your insurance company will offer you as far as wind mitigation savings. On average, you'll see that it's anywhere from 36 to 86%. Again, 40 to 90. Let's call it 50. If you save 50% a year on your homeowner's insurance, you'd be saving $200 to $300 a month. Those combined more than pay your payment for your new impact windows and doors. So once your windows and doors are paid off, you now have those savings coming back to you year after year. So not only are you saving money on your FPL bill every month, not only are you decreasing your homeowner's insurance every single year, you're now increasing the value of your home by 15%. So give us a call today or find us online at usawindowsanddoors.com.
Come join our family.
Welcome back to SoFlo Home Project. I'm Alena Capra, and we are continuing to share inspiration from homes that transport you to another time and place. So all of these homes that we've toured in past episodes on SoFlo Home Project are located right here in our own backyard, but bring in a little twist of somewhere different. And now we're gonna take a look at one property that really brings the cowboy lifestyle to South Florida. Take a look.
We're here in Southwest Ranches. We are on a 10-acre property and we've got a beautiful home to tour today. So give us a little bit of background on the project because you really worked with your clients to transform this space.
Yes, it was a whole transformation. When I first saw the house, I thought it was a total disaster. This property was very neglected. It was from the early 70s and it seemed like it was not updated since then. So absolutely needed to be updated from top to bottom. And my client is actually a cowboy. I wanted to do something special for them that would be modern farmhouse.
We've got this porch, which is just so welcoming, the rocking chairs and the stone.
We added the front porch, we added the carport, we added the gates. I wanted to have a grand entrance that will introduce you to the house.
Francie, I love what you did with the outside, but we've got a lot more house to see. So this kitchen, as I'm imagining, probably wasn't an open kitchen before you got your hands on it.
It was enclosed completely. You couldn't see outside, it was dark. You wanted to run out.
So now we've got lots of light, beautiful cabinetry, large kitchen. I mean, this is basically like a dream kitchen. You've got beautiful appliances and everything you did here really ties in with that modern farmhouse theme that we've been talking about. I mean, you've got a farm sink to start.
Yeah, exactly.
So
we wanted rugged and very, again, the kind of rustic farmhouse feeling. So all the fixtures were throughout the house are brown. So we keep that consistently everywhere.
And I love that because I think to our viewers, the one thing when you are going for a certain style is your hardware and your plumbing fixtures. They have them in such a variety of different looks. So you really, to bring those in is the first step towards creating that continuity.
Yes, actually, I myself, it's the last element that I actually pick in the kitchen, only because to me it ties the lighting and everything else that's around it, and it needs to connect with the fixtures and it needs to connect with the lighting if you have any chandeliers like the one we have right here, and then that's the last element that I always pick.
So wasn't that a great way to kind of bring a Western twist on modern farmhouse design? I loved that home. Truly a spectacular showpiece right here in SoFlo. Next, we learn how Balinese design found its way under our Florida sun on SoFlo Home Project.
When you're thinking about doing major home improvements, such as your roof, you want to work with a company that checks all of the boxes of what makes them do good work, quality work, and care about their customers. And we're here today at All American Roofing, joined by Susan Manning, to talk about what sets All American Roofing apart. Susan, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having us again. I think it's really important that homeowners know who they're dealing with. A lot of homeowners, they go for the least price, and that's not really always the smart thing to do. We may not be the cheapest person, but you have the backing of All American Roofing behind your roof. Another thing I'd like to talk about is deposits. There's many companies that require 50% deposit down when you sign with them. We're not like that. We don't think that's fair, because sometimes, it takes maybe a month or two to pull a permit.
Right.
Depending on the building department.
So it's all that time with that deposit sitting.
All that time where that deposit is in my bank account instead of yours, it's not the right thing to do. So what we require is $1,000 down, and that's to pull the permit and get all, because there's a lot of fees.
Got to get the wheels in motion.
Exactly. And then you're not required to pay again until the day we start. We think it's fair. How we do it is we split it into thirds. The first third is due the day we start, and then the second deposit is due when your tile or shingles get delivered, and then the last is after you get the final from the building department.
Susan, that was really great information and so helpful. So the most important part, though, if someone is thinking about replacing their roof or has some major repair work or just questions in general, how do they reach you at All American Roofing?
They can call 954-772-7663 or reach us. They can email us at www.allamericanroof.com. It'll tell you how to reach us. If it's after hours, you can send an email and we'll answer the next day.
Good stuff, Susan. Thank you as always.
Thank you so much.
Welcome back to SoFlo Home Project. I'm Alena Capra, and we are continuing to share design inspiration that transports you out of SoFlo and to another place. So, of course, everyone feels that South Florida has sort of an exotic charm to it, but if you want something truly tropical, take a look at this next home.
So Bridget, what's on the other side of these doors, I think, is one of the best reveals we have had on this show. An amazing indoor pool, Balinese vibe everywhere you look. So talk to us about how it was decorating a pool with, actually, usually it's outdoor furniture, but here it's indoor, regular furniture. What did you add to the space to make it more loungy and feel like home?
Working with the elements in the room, the chaise loungers were here, and we just added some pillows to tie it in with the rug, make it feel a little warmer. The fireplace actually is a non-functional fireplace, but it was located over here where the bar area is, and then we relocated it up here on the platform.
So it creates a little bit of a sort of informal lounge area.
Informal lounge,
cozy
area where friends can come by and have a glass of wine and just chillax, as we like to say.
Absolutely.
There were some draperies on these windows that were dark. They were red, and it just made the space dark and
So
gloomy.
just editing the space and taking away some of the things that felt heavy to still give a
That
light
lightness.
feel. Yes, it really does. It
Exactly.
has that resort feel. Bridget, so we are now in the primary bedroom. So talk to us about what you did here, because you worked with a lot of the bones of the existing architecture, but softened it up to make this feel really relaxing and cozy as a bedroom.
Yes, so first of all, the bed was here, and it's a rather large bed,
Yes.
and it's a darker bed. So again, using the light versus the dark and kind of bringing things together, but adding some softness and creating tranquility. I softened it with just light grays and creams and soft greens and blues. The actual color of the room was a dark hunter green. And so I used a much lighter color.
So kept in the greens, but changed it up to the other end of the spectrum.
Changed. And what I loved about doing the new color, if you notice, the ceiling is made of a grass cloth along with bamboo to highlight the details. It actually pops the ceiling. Now you see it, you recognize it, and you appreciate it for what it is.
Yes, I think that juxtaposition of the light paint color, again, it evokes a very tropical resort vibe as well. Now let's talk about over here. So you have some draperies, again, also in a very natural fabric, a linen type of a weave. Talk to us about what you did here, because there were some existing darker drapes, right?
There were actually some very dark drapes, and we took those down and again lightened it up and went with a natural fiber, again staying with that organic, very Balinese feel for the room. And also the flooring was a big detail because this is a Chicago brick floor.
Not
and
something you see every day in South Florida.
No, and for a tip for a homeowner who has a concrete floor, like say a Mexican tile or a concrete floor, stained concrete floor, you can soften the room using area rugs.
Absolutely, it's a great way. And again, because we've got such high ceilings here, and of course they have paneling and fabric to soften, but this takes it to another level of just giving that nice, quiet vibe to the room.
So we've seen a lot of pools here on SoFlo Home Project, but that one truly raises the bar. What a unique space, and I really love the way it brought in that Balinese design style throughout the home. Next, we step into a home unlike any other and explore loft living on SoFlo Home Project. Welcome back to SoFlo Home Project. I'm Alena Capra, and we are continuing to talk about design inspiration here in SoFlo that feels like it's in another place. So when we think of loft living, you might think New York City or other kind of metropolitan areas that perhaps aren't as tropical. But right here in South Florida, we have toured a beautiful loft that brings out that vibe of that urban city living. Take a look.
We're here in just right outside of downtown Fort Lauderdale.
Yep, some people call it Fat Village, Flagler Village, but basically it's the art district. And what I love about these loft units is that you get a little bit more space than some of the other condos. So for me, a tall person who also has a home business, it's an amazing space. You know, we have the 14-foot ceilings and just enough room to really kind of, operate, which is nice.
Yeah, I mean, I love the high ceilings. I think that's one of the draws of loft living. You think about the exposed, all the ductwork and all of the conduit, and it just brings such a different feel, and it's so cool. Now, let's talk about what it looked like before. Was it just basically a blank slate, exactly as is, and you just came in and added all the color?
It was a completely blank slate, and it had some odd colors in here. When we came in, there was so little done that it gave us the opportunity to kind of set it up the way that I wanted, and that's kind of the layout that we have here.
How did you tackle kind of setting up the floor plan with your living space and sort of the workspace? It all flows really well.
Yeah, I think that when you have a loft, you have to kind of just have a vision because you have an open space and you're able to build sections, you know? So you can use the couch, what would normally mark off a room, the couch can mark off the living room. Or, you know, you can have the desk that clearly mark it as a workspace. So you use the furniture in an open floor plan to kind of define your spaces.
Yeah, it definitely creates like zones, and it's a nice
Exactly,
way to do
zones.
it. And grounded by carpeting, because we are in a loft. Lofts have the beautiful concrete floor, a great look, but you do need to soften it up.
You know, make it a little more livable. You need some good carpets if you're going to go into the loft game.
Yes, and you know what? It's great because it adds a lot of color. And then speaking of bright and exciting, because that brings the bright, the rugs, and of course the art, you kept everything in sort of that neutral feel, the concrete ceiling, keeping it with the concrete look.
And a lot of that has to do with the conduit. For here, any wire that we want to run, we've run through the metal conduit and we've bent them really nice so that it kind of creates that industrial feel.
So Patrick, one of the things that I love about sort of loft living, as you mentioned, you were able to add a lot of lighting. And if you think about condos, in a condo you have a slab ceiling, concrete ceiling, that if you want to add more light fixtures, you have to drop the ceiling and do a lot of drywall work and a lot of finishing work in order to do that. Here, you run the conduit, you could really add lighting anywhere. It's an easier process and it looks great.
Yeah, it's wonderful when you start with an open box.
Exactly.
So we've exposed what we wanted to expose.
Right.
Yes.
Good
and
way to
it
put
came
it.
out nice.
Everyone has their kind of preference of which way they want to face the TV. When you have a lot of windows in a space, it's always that question. I always say, never be afraid to kind of cover an area if it's extending past into the windows and stuff. You have a wall here to hang it, but like, it's not blocking anything.
We felt that the windows were so big
Yes.
that it would work. And it kind of, in the way, it almost looks like a TV stand, the way
It does.
Yeah,
It creates a great backer.
I absolutely love loft-style living, and that truly was a great way to create a hybrid live and work space. So I hope that you all enjoyed today's episode and got lots of design inspiration from all of these SoFlo homes that feel like they're somewhere else. Want to wish you all a great rest of holiday weekend. Enjoy time with family and friends, and we hope to see you again next week for another all-new episode of SoFlo Home Project right here on Local 10. And remember, there's no place like SoFlo Home.
If you missed any part of this episode, or if you're looking for more design inspiration, make sure to check out all episodes online at SoFloShows.com. And don't forget to follow us on social media on Facebook and Instagram.
This has been a presentation of WPLG Local 10, the leader in local SoFlo programming.